Okay, so first question's from Danny Wall. He asks, why did God use letters that seem so oddly shaped, almost primitive? It makes more sense to me that he would have begun with what we now know as the modern Hebrew letters, since they are so clearly and elegantly shaped.
The answer to that being is these are the most primitive letters you can find. These letters were used before the flood by the prophet Enoch to write down the prophecies that he would leave to Methuselah and to Noah. So this is Paleo. Paleo refers to the oldest. Next to that would be Neo-Paleo or Proto-Paleo, but this is absolutely 100% the oldest script there is.
So I've heard this sort of commentary before that people's reason for saying this alphabet cannot possibly be from God is because it doesn't look good.
We have a pretty good looking noon on our on our covers.
Yeah, I don't know that that's a great argument.
So it's because of this. Danny Wall goes on and says, it makes more sense to me that he would have begun with what we now know as the modern Hebrew letters, since they are so clearly and elegantly shaped. Please answer. So
they look nice. They're clear, they're clean, but they lack any meaning. If you were to look at the Aleph, you don't see a bowl there. If you look at the Beit, you don't necessarily see an enclosure or a house there.
They lose their interpretation. Beit is God's house, a temple. Aleph, it represents a bull, and Gimel represents a foot stomping. So that's how he chose to have us learn, and that's a good question that we could ask when we meet Father, our Creator.
Yeah.
Pretty soon.
Yeah.
So, but even though it is more elegant, modern, I would say
the meaning is more important.
The meaning is more important to Paleo participants than the letter itself.
Yeah. The question is, anyone know the artist for this song? So we're slowly, all of the music is ours, mostly stuff that I wrote. So we're slowly adding the music on a separate playlist. If you click the playlist link, you'll start to see all of the songs there.
Free download if you want.
Yeah, if you could figure out how to download it from YouTube, go for it.
If you can figure out how to download it, it's free.
Yeah. Okay, this question is from We Are Lions. Is the Tetragrammaton, Yohe-Vohe, the same as the ancient Hebrew? Are they pronounced the same? Do they actually mean the same thing?
To those, Tetragrammaton, the same as the ancient Hebrew. Yes, it is. Number 2, are they pronounced the same? I don't believe they're pronounced the same. I do believe the pronunciation was lost, starting with when Israel started to mix with the nations. There's a story where they ask a certain tribe that's coming in to hide among them to say Shibboleth.
Yeah, Shibboleth or something.
And if they say Simmereth instead of Shibboleth,
off with your head.
Off with their head. So yes, they're already losing their way of pronunciation. As for the actually mean the same thing, yes, they do. What's the next question?
He says, I'm asking this because the Tetragrammaton, Yohe-Vohe, for people that don't know, that's just a name that's given to the letters Yohe-Vohe. The Tetragrammaton is Jehovah and seems to be connected to the all-seeing eye.
The reason they say the all-seeing eye is because there's people that have gotten into giving every letter a value, and that's where you get they start reading the Dead Sea Scrolls, and they start skip reading the Bible and such.
The Bible code.
Yeah, now there's people looking to find special answers there. Now that's more than we can answer as far as the Tetragrammaton.
We're not into that
We're not into that.
kind of thing.
Yeah. You have to be learned to answer that. I would ask a rabbi on that, right?
It says, and also I've been questioning the Masoretic text.
So have we. So have we. We are questioning. What's the next one?
That's it. Wait, what are you questioning about the Masoretic text?
I'm questioning who wrote it. And for example, we know there's what's called Pig Latin, Pig Greek, Pig Paleo. Like we know some people actually use the wrong words when they wrote in wrong letters, depending where they're at.
So some of the words, like
we discussed one a day.
We did. You'll see the letters Sade and Zion, for example, they both make kind of a Z sound. So you'll see some words that have those letters switched. The same thing happens with the kuf and the kaf because they both make the k sound. But as far as
hence we question the Masoretic text.
So the Masoretic text, when they've gone back and they've compared it to what they found with the Dead Sea Scrolls and to the Septuagint. Is there something specific? Because people really get into this issue, so I don't know if you could just make a kind of vague blanket statement like that unless you've got like specifics.
It's got to be studied more. Period.
All right.
So, because those were zealots.
So, but these guys added the vowel points, so it's useful for a few different things.
It's useful.
Yeah.
It's great. So, okay, that's the questions today, and
no, that's not it.
There's more, huh?
Wait, there's more.
Okay, so we have.
Okay, I don't know if this is so much a question for us, but we will treat it as such. So it says, this is from Imitating the Creator, and he or she says, very cool, I'm excited to reason using this because it's as much a snake as a sperm or seed in form. When dealing with the picto interpretation, we have found that there can often be multiple interpretations of the pictures, as you have shown, and a seed is the foundation of life. I disagree that there can be multiple interpretations on the pictures. I think there's just the one picture and many meanings.
Seed is Sarah, and weed, what they would call an evil seed, like a weed, just happens to be our next letter, Samic.
Samic, yeah.
So if you're talking about an evil seed, like a weed, Samic. If you're talking about a good seed, Sarah. But we don't agree with the evil seed. We believe it's a snake, it's a noon.
Well, no, I think the point that he's making is not that it's an evil seed, but like that a seed itself, if you think of a seed of a plant, it's representative of life on earth. I don't think that the letter is so much concerned with life on earth as it is with life in the spirit.
Yes.
And for the other thing that you mentioned that I won't repeat because it's a family-friendly show, I could see how you could see that in the symbol, but it is a Nahash, a snake. It's evident in the words and in some of the earlier drawings, and I think the more early drawings that they find, the more you will see.
The more you will see it's a snake.
Yeah.
And I do believe we made our point also in showing the noon.
Yeah.
Take a look at the urban legend of King Crab on the video again, and you'll see.
But like we said, snakes are bad for marketing, so it's a hard.
Well, snakes are also good for marketing.
It's a hard teaching.
They're also good for marketing.
Yeah.
They make better books. I believe it's marketed. Noon is marketed as Satan's seed for books, to sell books. It makes for better characters.
I guess so.
Okay. What's our next question?
I think that's it for the day.
Okay. See you in the next original Hebrew Paleo.